Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generations Voyager Brainstorm. Now this is a very special figure for one good reason, and that is that it says on here that the head converts to pilot. That's right, this is a headmaster. Probably the first one in an extremely long period of time, at least that I can think of anyway. So let's take a quick look at the box. As you can see, it says it's a level 2 intermediate, ages 5 and up, and then we got a quick little tour of the box here. It's Series 2, number 9. Here's the bio if you want to pause it now to read it, and then here are the tech specs too. And then we get a nice image on the back of the box of both of its modes. So let's go ahead and open this thing and take a look. And here is Brainstorm in vehicle mode, and I've transformed this a couple of times and I am already in love with this thing. This is an incredibly nice transformer. Now it is a very simple transformation. I wouldn't have personally put it at that level 2 intermediate. I would have put it at the level 1, but really level 1 is kind of, you know, all the like quick changer stuff and one-step changer stuff. But this is very simple to do, and I think that it's an amazing set for kids. I think it's a perfect Voyager for kids. But before we get too much into my opinion, let's just take a quick look at this vehicle mode here. It's very sleek, yet kind of chunky at the same time. As you can see, you've got the sleek nose, it's got the landing gear here, and it sits on these bits which become the hands, and you can just flip this landing gear up inside like so. As you can see, you do kind of have the legs here, and then the arms are folded up here and here. It doesn't make it too chunky though, I feel. I think even though everything is just kind of folded up back here, I mean, looking at it from every angle, it doesn't make it look chunky, it doesn't look out of place, and that's obviously helped by the fact it's not a conventional, aircraft. It's more of a Cybertronian vehicle, which does help them get away with that very much. Again, you know, looks exactly like the IDW version. It's just a really awesome thing. I love how we've got the kind of jets here, and I guess, I mean, these are the feet, but they're, I guess, a whole kind of exhaust system, all of these bits here. But they look very nice. We have some nice silver paint app on here, as well as some red. Really nice Autobot logo on both wings. It's just all in all a very nice craft. These are on hinges, so you can position these however you like. Same with these wings. If you want them angled any way that you want, you can do, so you can get a slightly different look if you want. You can also take these off. These are just the weapons, and you can just take those off if you don't like them there. So yeah, that actually looks that actually reminds me a lot of a Star Fox craft actually. But yeah, so this thing, I mean, it's just really is very nice, and something that makes it even better is the fact that we get this pilot. Now, a quick look at the pilot before I go ahead and show how it interacts. We do actually have a ball jointed head here because this is the head of Brainstorm, as you can see right there, so it means that the robot mode head will have a ball joint. So it's very nice, it's very good, so you get the side to side and everything, so that's a lot more than we used to get from old Headmasters and Target Masters and whatnot. The legs are simply a hinge at the hip and a hinge at the knee. However, they are stuck together, which I don't mind. But what I don't like as much is the fact that these arms, they're just molded on the inside of these panels. It would have been nice if we got a little bit more out of them. They're on a ball joint, but they can't move very much, so they go that far out and then they just rotate. But it would have been nice if there was like a cut here, because there is that line, so that if we could have maybe had 2 panels, just so it's a bit more kind of interactive than the older versions of Headmasters. Now, as a quick size comparison, this is Spike from MP10. They are just about exactly the same size. So yes, that's fantastic, because it means that this guy can also fit inside your Brainstorm, which is awesome. So to go ahead and do that, you just open up the cockpit right here, and as you can see, there's a little seat in there. And with this guy, you just simply put the legs forward and just make sure the arms are down to his side, just to make it a bit easier to sit in. And then you just plonk him right in there. And then you can just close up the cockpit, and there we go. And he's in there, he's obviously very secure, doesn't really move around too much. This isn't on a loose hinge, it is quite a, I wouldn't say stiff, but it holds in place extremely well. And if I just take him out, if we just go ahead and get Spike here, forward in a seated pose, like him in, he sits in there very nice. Obviously he hasn't got the width, so he wriggles around in there a little bit more, but apart from that, He looks very nice in there. I think that that is awesome. I think that it's just epic that you can get him sitting in more and more things that get brought out. I love interaction. I know they probably didn't mean for it to be like that, but I just love the fact that you can actually use him for other stuff. So like I said, the transformation is very easy. We've already taken these guns off of here. So what we're going to do is the arms are pegged into the legs under here basically. So you just unpeg those and then you can just bring them out just so that they're out of the way a little bit for now. Now what we're going to do is open up these. They're like the hips, just so that we can get a bit of room here. Now the legs, they're pegged in via these holes on the back. We bring them out like so. They're actually quite stiff ratchets, so bring those out, which then means that we can take this cockpit here, or well, nose, it's pegged in via that peg in there, and that is just going to flip around and peg into that hole right there, so that that now sits on the back. The legs then just get straightened out. We can open up these sections and take out the feet like so. The arms then just come down and rotate around, and then you open up this panel right here and then pull the hand out. Do the same for the other side. Flip that round, open up the panel, flip out the hand. This one's a little bit more stiff, but it's not too bad. And then you push these bits down, put the hip bits back down. And now to get the headmaster into the head mode, you just simply fold up the legs like so. Make sure that those panels are nice and straight. They don't really tab, they just sit there. And that is the head. Now that is the downside of this headmaster, is the fact that this actual face is always going to be on the back of that headmaster when he's in pilot mode, but that doesn't matter when he's sitting inside and everything, and it's very nice to get the headmaster anyway, so it's not that much of a downfall really. Now this is a part where you've got to be careful. I have already flipped down the tech specs here. Inside there is some tech specs, so we get speed, strength and intelligence. They're not his because they don't correlate to his on the box, so it's probably someone he's inspecting or something. I'll just flip those back up inside. There we go. Basically this releases this. This is when you push this down like so, it releases that, and because it's releasing this, as you can see here, that is the release for the head. That clips into this little hole here. Now it's got to be very delicate when you put it in, because if you push it in more, the release doesn't let the head out, and then if it does push in more, when you pull it out, just pull it forwards and out, and then that will help you get it out. But basically what you got to do is just push the head in very gently, just so that it clips in. That just released the tech specs. I think that's in just fine. Yep, that was in just fine. So basically it just clips in that far, and that's it. If it goes further than that, then it's not stuck, but you just hold down on the release and just pull forward and up instead of just trying to pull up, because you could just pull it off the ball joint if you do that. But basically when you put the head in, the tech specs get lowered down. If you don't want them there, you can flip them back up. They just cover the seat. That's just the back of the seat. But yeah, so you don't have to have that open, obviously. That was just so that you can see it a bit easier in there. And also, if you don't want to have to keep on taking this head off, maybe you're worried about breaking the ball joint or something or whatever, you can go ahead and just leave the head right inside there. You know, you just you can transform him with the head on or off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't get in the way at all. You just simply turn it around. As you can see, you just turn it around, and then I think that looks perfectly fine. I don't think it's out of place at all, because you've got these bits that stick out that much anyway. So I really don't think that looks out of place. It actually fills the gap up if you do think that there is too much of a gap back there. And overall, I just think that still looks absolutely fantastic. So you don't have to keep on taking this off if you don't want to. So don't let that make you think, oh, I don't want to get this figure because I'm just going to break the head. You don't have to worry about that at all. But that is basically Brainstorm fully transformed. So it's a very easy, very quick, very simple transformation, and that's why I think it's very good for kids. There's not a lot that's going to break on here, and that is actually the reason why I think these are on hinges, because in the comics and also in the instructions, these wings are straight out, whereas as you can see they have a hinge on them. So I mean, what some people do, maybe you don't like this, you can always go ahead and just flip them back like so. So there's the look of that. It just gives him a more streamlined silhouette there. But I think it's actually just so that they don't break, so that they don't snap off, because there's no reason that you would want to, there's no reason that they would give you movable wings, because nowhere in the instructions does it tell you to actually move them. These ones I understand, because you are actually supposed to flip these down. So these ones, I think it's probably just so that they don't get broke, because if these were solid plastic, they would probably be very easy to snap off from the arm. Whereas being on a hinge like this, if they get knocked or if they get played with or whatever, they're more likely to just bend and fold rather than actually get snapped off. So I think that's a very good thing right there. So apart from some people's maybe breaking with the head, another popular thing that, well, kind of fault I guess, is loose hands. Now I don't have loose hands. They're looser than maybe I would like. This one it's loose until there, and then it gets grip. And then this one's pretty average. But some people have really, really loose hands, and they just wobble around all the time. But apart from that, I don't know of any other quality control issues with this figure, so it's a very, very good figure. So articulation for this figure, obviously the head has its ball joint, so it can look left and right and up and down and a bit side to side, which is very nice. And then everything else is pretty much ratcheted, so it's very, very cool. So you get up and down here at the shoulder. As you can see, it kind of touches the head there and pushes it to one side, which is why it's great that it has a ball joint. It's slightly ratcheted, not one that you can hear, but as you can see, it's locking at several points. And then we have the rotation all the way around. Then we have a rotation due to transformation up here at the arm, and then we have double jointed biceps, which are very, very nice. The upper bit is not got a ratchet, but this lower part here does ratchet. And then the hands, due to transformation, move left and right there. No waist joint, but that's perfectly fine due to transformation. This bit does go up, allowing the legs to come forward, and these bits come out to the side, allowing them to go out to the side. So they go this far out. As you can see, very, very stiff ratchets, just like I said, due to transformation. And then forward and back, it goes all the way. So that's very cool. We get a rotation at the thigh right here, or upper knee, whatever you call this area, and then you get the knee joint here. This isn't ratcheted, and then we get the foot that goes up and down this much, and it actually does rotate, and it's not just the front, it is the entire foot that gets a pivot there. It's not much, but it's enough to let him stand perfectly straight like so, and then one click out on both sides and still stand perfectly flat in a bit more of an A stance. So I think that is very nice. Brainstorm does hold his weapons very easily, as you can see, but you can only put them a little bit in, because if you push them any further in, as you can see, they become angled due to the forearm, which kind of sucks, but there's not really much they could have done with that, unless they just literally made this bit a little bit smaller. But yeah, so I think it's okay, but they could have done a lot better. I don't really mind too much, because I'm not sure if he does use them in the comics or not, but they might just permanently stay up here, and that's where I'm going to keep them permanently. I don't really see any reason to take them off of the nose up here. You can plug them into the screwdriver ports, but they will sit at a little bit of an angle in there, so it is best to just plug them into the nose, and then as you can see, they do actually go straight up, so that looks very nice. As a size comparison, here he is next to the Evasion Mode Transformers 4 Optimus Prime. The head of Brainstorm is just under 7.5 inches, and to the tip of the guns is actually 9 inches, so standard about head height of a Voyager, but it's very, very good that the wings and the guns make him look very big. It's really nice that the Voyagers are starting to get a bit bigger these days. And here he is next to Leader Class Jetfire. If you want to see the review for this Jetfire or for that Optimus figure, reviews for both are on my channel. So overall, this Brainstorm is absolutely fantastic. I really like this guy. The transformation, although it's very simple, it works very well. It gets a very accurate look. It just, everything about it just works. You know, Transformers don't have to be super complex to get, people who enjoy transforming their figures or collectors to really like them. They just have to be a good transformation. And although it's not very many steps, and I do like a good transformation, this is actually very involving for me, and I really do like it. Apart from not having any movement at the waist, it's got pretty much all the articulation you're ever going to want from a Transformer. The colours and paint app are all awesome. I mean, I've got a little bit of yellow that just runs underneath one of the eyes on the head there, but apart from that, it's all spot on. I've got no QC control issues, and it is very, very good to see the return of Headmasters, and I really hope that we see many, many more. It's really nice that we got a few triple changes, and then we've got the Combiner Wars, and now we've got Headmasters as well. So I think it's really awesome that we're getting all these different types of G1 figures back. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click on that like button. If you want to see pictures of anything from my collection, then go ahead and follow my Instagram and Twitter. It's Homerino123 for both, and links will be in the description below. And to see more Transformers reviews, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.